You know, Mr. Mime might as well be the channel mascot at this point. I mention this clown in literally every NU video since it rules the old metagame, and I mentioned it in every single Yu-Gi-Oh video since quite simply, it is one of the best Pokemon in the entire metagame. Mr. Mime is the dominant and defining Pokemon in GC Underused, being a powerful, fast, and most of all versatile special attacker. Mr. Mime was not always dominant, however, as years ago it was being tiered as never used. You all know the story, so I'll keep it brief. Basically, about a decade ago, GC Underused was far less played and refined than it is now. Some Pokemon that are now staples were rarely used, such as Haunter, Lantern, and of course, Mr. Mime. This led to Mr. Mime being tiered as NU. Over time though, people realised that this was far from where it actually belonged. By 2018, Mr. Mime was considered a fantastic Pokemon in GC Underused, and so people wanted to move it up to UU, where it rightfully belonged. It was also pretty damn broken in NU, so this would benefit that tier too. And in October of 2018, Mr. Mime at last returned to GC Underused, and since then, it's just gotten even better, fun fact. These days, Mr. Mime is easily one of the best Pokemon in GC Underused. It shapes team building a lot and is super customizable. It has a huge supporting move pool, learning all of Thunder Wave, Baton Pass, Light Screen, Reflect, Encore, and Hypnosis. It is just an incredibly dangerous and consistent offensive Pokemon that even brings some defensive utility. So let me please analyse Mr. Mime. Looking at Mr. Mime's stats and typing, it is clearly designed to be a special attacker. Mr. Mime has an impressive special attack stat of 100, which is quite impressive by GC Underused standards. This lets it threaten Pokemon like Granbull and Electabuzz with its Stab Psychic. Speaking of Stab Psychic, it threatens many common Pokemon like Haunter and Quillfish with super effective damage. While there are Pokemon that can take Psychic fairly easily, like Slowbro, Slowking, Gyarados, and Blastoise, these Pokemon are then threatened hard by Thunder. Thunder complements Psychic extremely well, and is what makes Mr. Mime so hard to deal with. Psychic plus Thunder threaten most of GC Underused's top Pokemon hard. These include Pokemon like Scyther, Nidoqueen, Quillfish, and Haunter. Mr. Mime is also very fast, sitting in a base 90 speed tier that outpaces Pokemon like Gyarados, Pinsir, Quillfish, Nidoqueen, and Blastoise, making Mr. Mime decent at revenge killing these Pokemon. Mr. Mime is also one of the best offensive leads in GCUU, threatening Quillfish and Haunter leads and potentially spreading status. Mr. Mime also has some defensive utility surprisingly enough. While its physical defense is pretty bad, its special defense is actually its highest stat, making it decent at taking attacks from Pokemon like Haunter, Slowbro, and Slowking. Because of this, Mr. Mime is a Pokemon with few reliable checks, and because of its move pool, even these checks might not be safe against it. Mr. Mime has a vast move pool that it can use to either make its checks easier to deal with or to support its team. Mr. Mime is an effective thief user, as this lets it steal leftovers from Pokemon like Hypno or Lantern, greatly affecting the longevity and defensive potential of these Pokemon. If Mr. Mime wants to break through Pokemon like Restock, Hypno, and Ampharos easier, it can use Nightmare. Nightmare deals a quarter damage to Pokemon like Hypno when they are sleeping, which can let Mr. Mime break through Hypno much easier with smart play. Since Hypno is often the sole check to Mr. Mime on offensive teams, this makes Nightmare or Thief Mr. Mime a big threat to offensive teams. Encore is another good option, being used to lock Pokemon into setup moves, or to lock Pokemon like Piloswine and Lantern into rest. Encore was also very effective against Agility Pass teams when they were still allowed. Mr. Mime is also very effective at supporting its teammates. Thunder Wave is able to spread paralysis for slower teammates like Granbull, Light Screen is able to provide support for Pokemon like Granbull, Scyther, and Pinsir, and Hypnosis is able to shut something down and provide free entry for Mr. Mime's teammates. Mr. Mime also learns Baton Pass, which it is effective at using since it learns moves like Barrier and Substitute. It can use Baton Pass to Dry Pass too, since Mr. Mime forces out a ton of Pokemon. Curse Pass Mr. Mime is actually pretty popular, since it's able to set up all over Hypno. The final thing Mr. Mime can do is a Rest Talk set, which is actually evolved to be one of its most popular sets. While its physical defense and HP are very poor, its good speed, special defense, alongside its coverage, keeps its set relevant. This Mr. Mime set is able to switch into Pokemon like Slowbro and Haunter fairly effectively throughout the course of a game. Rest Talk also means that Mr. Mime doesn't fear status, letting it stay in against Pokemon like Jumpluff and Blossom. So yeah, Mr. Mime is a powerful and versatile special attacker that defines team building in modern GC Underused. One of the main reasons for the rise of Piloswine in 2021 was actually Mr. Mime, as Piloswine matches up quite well against Mr. Mime, unlike Nidoqueen. It is also the main reason offensive teams spam Hypno, as otherwise these teams get destroyed by Mr. Mime. Mime isn't flawless, obviously, as his poor physical bulk leaves it 2 KO'd by common physical attackers like Granbull and Piloswine, but it's just such a consistent and dangerous special attacker that remains one of the best, most defining Pokemon in modern GC Underused.